So have you ever wondered Wesley's story? Because I have. I just see a guy who's silent, laying in a motel bed. And then sometimes when he does talk to his audience, he's like really nasty and calls them names. He's like, "You stupid, you're a moron." And if you ever look at the comments on his videos, his clips on his page, holy shit, people are like, "I was going to help you, but you called me an idiot." Yeah, he doesn't do himself any favors. Well, I'm always going to call him Pete's the second because he really is like Pete's. But instead of My Little Pony, he's into football. But if you want to know his backstory, here you go.
Okay, so I'm going to rush through this and I'm going to explain this. And I'm going to make a video and I'm going to pin this.
And I'm going to interrupt you.
Everybody who wants to know can understand.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 17 years old, I was abandoned by my mother. And I was homeless for a long time. And I lived with my uncle. And
first off, your mom didn't abandon you. She wanted you to man up and not just sit around the house, because I'll bet you didn't finish high school. You were just hanging around playing video games and fantasy football probably. And you weren't homeless if you're living with your uncle. Did you live with anyone else?
He kicked me out, and then I stayed with one of my friends, and I had a job at Taco Bell, and then I had a job at a gas station. And I haven't seen my father since I was 4 years old. So I haven't seen my parents in about 20 years. I haven't seen anyone in my family in about 20 years, other than one of my siblings.
You have multiple siblings. Jesus, God, you're blessed.
And
and you had friends to couch surf. Yeah.
Like, I was staying with my sister, and then
you were staying with the uncle, then friends, had 2 jobs, and then staying with your sister. Oh, boy, you were abandoned.
Her and her boyfriend moved into another apartment, and I had to leave. So
it's their apartment, their life. They're making a life together, and you're not their dependent.
In order to not be homeless, I moved to Parkersburg, and I stayed there and lived with a few people.
A few people. Not one person, not a friend. A few people. So you were wearing out your welcomes, kind of like Mr. Poopy Butthole.
And I got an apartment from one of my friends that I was living with.
He got an apartment. Carl, are you hearing this? He got an apartment.
And because we were living together, and then he moved out, so I got the apartment to myself. And I was working at Walmart. I worked at Walmart for 5 years while I lived at that apartment.
5 years employment. So now we know that's the third place we've heard of. We know that he can work. He can work.
And then I worked at a gas station for 5 years.
And
while I was working at the gas station, I lost my apartment.
Because he didn't get a roommate. What you want to make a bet? See, he moved in with a dude, had a job, so they were pulling together. Then the friend left, gave him the apartment. But instead of being smart and getting another roommate, dumbass here was lazy and thought he could do it by himself.
Went and I was living at a motel, and for some reason I decided that it would be better for me because I was getting threatened at my job all the time.
Why would he be getting threats at Walmart and the gas station? There's something we don't know about him. He's got a little something in his secret closet.
And I felt that it would be better for me if I moved. And so I moved and went to North Carolina, went to South Carolina, and realized that I couldn't make it. So I moved back to West Virginia, and I lived at a homeless shelter. I worked at McDonald's, and I was getting threatened and bashed all the time.
Again, we're being threatened in a Completely different state. What is happening? Why is he getting threats? What is he doing to cause people to dislike him this much?
And I didn't feel like I could take it anymore. I felt like I was going to lose my job because one of my managers was threatening me all the time.
The manager was threatening him. What the fuck is happening?
And so I left and I moved to Austin because I thought Austin, Texas was going to be warm. So I decided that I would go ahead because my TikTok was taken off. I figured I could just move to Austin where it was warm and stay outside for a little bit while my channel picked up.
Costa Rica's warm, not Austin, Texas.
And so I decided to do that. And I realized that Austin was way too cold. So
What is he, thin-blooded? You're from the East Coast? You're from West Virginia? What the hell?
Moved to where I am now. And now I have no idea what I'm going to do because I don't feel like it's actually working.
And sitting around in a hotel is not working. I never would have suspected that would happen.
And now I don't know what I'm going to do.
Really?
I'm just here now.
Existing.
And that's my whole story, basically. That is seriously like the majority of what I've been through over the past 20 years. Like, I did leave a bunch out, and I can make some other videos about it, or like if people have any questions, they can just ask me about it. Because,
dude, whenever people ask you questions, you yell at them and call them names.
I did leave quite a bit out, but that's basically it.
I want to know why you're getting threatened by everybody you're around. What's up with that?
I've moved almost 50 different times in my life. I've lived in like seven or eight different states.
That is your choice. You have poor impulse control. Hey, you just moved again yesterday. Jumped a Greyhound bus.
I've lived in like 20 different cities. I've been homeless like 5 times. I've lived at like 3 different homeless shelters.
Dude, you are literally homeless by choice because you don't use brain cells. You have brains enough to work in different jobs. And one job for 5 years. Yet, you can't rub them brain cells together to figure out how to survive. Another one that needs to have classes in adulting.
I've had a rough life.
Rough. Okay, rough. Rough is being abandoned by mommy at 17. I'm going to say you were 17 going on 18, and mommy wasn't going to support you anymore.
And I'm just here now, just trying to make it.
Just breathing. Spending oxygen.
So, like, if you guys have any questions or you want to know anything specific.
Dude, wait till you hear these excuses. So this was filmed on the 8th of January because I guess he was getting requests. And I didn't know his TikTok took off. He's a popular dude.
See, I told you.